What's up, guys? Cody from Motorcycle MD. Let's dive right into connectors. Alright, very simple. Just a couple tips and tricks on what can go bad, how to replace terminals inside of them, and what to prepare for if your bike stays outside. Or even if you have to replace the terminal by itself, I'm going to show you guys step by step the correct process of what I do to make sure it's done professionally. Alright, so first thing I want to start with is as to why connectors seem to burn up. And you might notice this more on like stator connectors coming from the motor. It's usually like those 3 yellow wires, and they usually melt. Oftentimes on the VT 1100s, those type, even the older GL style bikes. The reason why heat builds up is typically because of a high resistance through the connector. So you got 2 connectors, right? They're usually not always taut, or they are, but the terminals inside are loose. Okay, so that resistance from shaking around the bike, because those connections are making connection and then stop making connection, it builds up that heat, which melts the plastic around it. Okay, if that makes sense, awesome. So let's say you want to replace the terminals inside of the connector. Okay, so the way that they work is, let's say this is a male blade style terminal and this is a female. Makes sense, female takes the male. Okay, I'm not gonna go into that. So the male and female, both sides, have these little tangs on the back that stick up. It's almost like a ramp. So what that's designed to do is to go through and then hook on to inside the terminal. So to get them out, it's very, very simple. All you're going to do is push down on this little tang in the back, and that will allow the terminal to slide out. And let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So it's a very simple tool to make. I use a paper clip. Okay, right at the end I use a pair of needle nose pliers on the flat part and just flattened it out with some pressure, so it makes it a little bit flatter going in there. It's really simple. So down in the connector, you'll see that it has one side has like almost like a little slot that you can go into, and that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to take the paper clip. Let's say we're going to pull out this double orange wire right here. Okay, so I'm going to find that side that has that little sleeve for you to slide down into, push the paper clip all the way down inside until you push that little tang out. Okay, so the paper clip's a little bit weak, but there you go. Okay, it comes right out. If you wanted to go back in with it, all you're going to do is just bend up this tab again and go back in. Alright, and it'll hook right back in there. Okay, it's really simple. So if you have loose terminals and you want to take them out and maybe tighten them, and one way you can do that, especially with these female terminals, is looking at the looseness of these ovals. So you can take your needle nose pliers and just crimping them tighter, and then sliding them right back in if you have a loose connection. Another trick you can do that I do almost daily if I'm working on electrical stuff is taking these male terminals, and you can actually take a pair of needle nose pliers, unplug it of course, take them and then just give them a slight twist. So this one has 9, but you can give each of them a slight twist, so when they go in to their corresponding connector, it's almost forcing it to have a really good connection, because it's no longer just going in like this. Now this is still straight, but this male terminal is kind of turned to the left or the right, and it's forcing it to scrape in and hold tighter. That gives a fantastic connection. I do it with ECM connectors sometimes. Again, all you're doing is just taking it and it's giving it a slight twist. Alright, not crazy, because if you go too crazy on all of them, you won't be able to get them back together. Alright, so just a slight twist, it makes a better connection. It's awesome. Another thing, when using dielectric grease, I hit on this a little bit in the blog, but dielectric grease is not meant to lather all over your terminals before you put them together. That's not its purpose. Alright, it can actually cause bad readings, resistance readings that are too high or too low, usually too high, but it's not what its purpose is. So the dielectric grease is meant to keep stuff out. Alright, so let's say I have these two connectors right here, okay, male and female connector. The dielectric grease is good to put on the inside of here, as well as what I also do is put it where the wires are going in at. I'll shoot some down in here to keep stuff from going, like water to going down in there, or dirt or whatever. That's what dielectric grease is for. You can put it on the end of spark plugs, on the plug side, on the sleeves of spark plug wires. That's what it's for. It's not meant to be lathered deep down inside of here and then push these two things together. It does not do anything for the terminal, I guarantee it. So that is connectors in a small nutshell of just some quick tips on making the connections tighter, getting them out. My next video will be going over how to make wired terminals, as well as like waterproof style terminals. Alright?